Since we are now in the halfway point of the season, the Hinrunde of the Bundesliga season, I'll be doing a rating for all different parts of our teams, including our manager. Let's get right into it. Welcome to Talking Bayern, the one-stop shop for Bayern Munich content on YouTube. Today I'll be analyzing each part of the Bayern squad and how these players have been doing throughout this year. So first of all, I'm going to go into the coach. Obviously our manager, Nagelsmann. This is going to be a bit of a controversial one. I know there's going to be high expectations after Hansi Flick's departure. And obviously we have a lot of expectations in Nagelsmann. Obviously we signed him for a very, very large fee. But I'm going to give him an A so far. There's obviously mixed opinions, but I think at the end of the day, Bayern are off to an incredible start with a 14-1-2 record with a plus 40 goal difference and obviously a dominating 9 points lead over Dortmund. One issue of his tactics of lately is that Lewandowski hasn't been able to, be fully unleashed like he was under Hansi Flick. I mean, Robert Lewandowski still has 19 goals in the Bundesliga this season, but still, it seems like something's a little bit off. Nagelsmann's obviously been very, very offensive as well. But obviously, Flick was like the back line was so far up all the time. So obviously, in that way, Lewandowski's been a bit restricted, but still, obviously, it's working out, and really no complaints there. But I still think Nagelsmann's been exceptional, and time will tell if he can be as good as Flick was for Bayern. And we have to remember that Flick had his ups and downs as well, and were exploited there in the season when Flick refused to change, and tactics and teams caught on to us. Nagelsmann is doing a good job. He gets an A. So Lewandowski is going to be given an A+ rating with 30 goals and 3 assists so far this season. You also just can't ignore the numbers. This guy cannot stop scoring. Probably the best striker in the world at the moment, and Nagelsmann is trying to spread out the offensive focus, which has resulted in a drop of goals for Lewandowski. While most of the reason he slumped was the tactics from Nagelsmann, he definitely could have scored a few more, especially near the end, but still in my mind an A+. Leroy Sané is going to be an A for me with 11 goals and 11 assists. He looked like the most improved player on Bayern this season and is showing why he was worth the money finally. There's a lot of doubts last season, but obviously he's kind of, exceeded expectations almost. Definitely based on the transfer fee we paid for him, and he's looking like our best winger and has been incredibly good with and without the ball. He's obviously scoring beautiful goals, making excellent runs, and delivering great passes. Next is going to be Serge Gnabry. I'm going to give an A- for him. 11 goals and 7 assists so far this season. Serge Gnabry has certainly had an exceptional Hinrunde, contributing to 18 goals so far. He didn't have the same total as Sané, but Sané benefited from playing, above Alphonso Davies. Obviously, Davies making great runs all the time, whereas Gnabry relied on Pavard to give him the ball, which, let's be honest, that's not a perfect scenario. So, Serge Gnabry, great job, A-. Definitely picked up at the end as well. For Kingsley Coman, this might be a bit controversial. I'm going to give him a B. 5 goals and 2 assists. Obviously, great job of coming back from that, that operation, and obviously it's great to see him back in form. But Coman was good, but if he improved his final passes or shots, he definitely could score a lot more goals. He has moments of brilliance, but it's wasteful too often still for my liking. So he's going to get a B, a pretty decent job so far. As for our midfield, this will probably be the most controversial area of the team for debate. I'm going to give Kimmich a C with 3 goals and 4 assists. And while he had an incredible start of the season, obviously he went kind of missing out of action since mid-November. He's been completely out due to his own decisions, his own kind of negligence. He let the team down in a tremendous amount when we needed him, and no one's going to be forgiving him quickly. Obviously he's already kind of asking for apologies, saying I kind of made mistakes, but he's a leader on this team, and I won't get too much into details there. Obviously there's some controversy there, but definitely let the team down. Goretzka, I'm going to give a B with 2 goals and 2 assists. I'll be honest, he was slightly underwhelming so far this season because of the high expectations he set for himself. He certainly hasn't played poorly, just not as good as he played last year. And also, you could probably say he had some knocks throughout the season and some match fitness issues, so a break should see him more fit after the return. I think after the break we'll see him in top form again. As for other midfielders, Corentin Tolisso, I'm going to give a C+, so he had a goal and 3 assists, and he honestly did a pretty fair job filling in for Kimmich once he was quarantined, but it never felt like Tolisso had moments of brilliance. He did what was needed from him, and I think everyone was happy with the performances at the end of the day, but still, Tolisso just was never meant to be at Bayern, it seems like, and obviously he will be probably leaving in the summer, so it's probably the end of the Tolisso saga as we know it. As for Sabitzer, I'm going to give him a D. 0 goals and 0 assists from our, one of our marquee signings this summer, and there's really not much to say here. He was given limited chances, but the opportunities he was given, he never impressed. I can see both sides of frustration here, but there's still plenty of time for Sabitzer to recover. Obviously, let's look at Sané last season. He was obviously really poor, and I was pretty vocal about that, but obviously we can see how good Sané this season, so we need to be patient and give Sabitzer some more chances. As for Musiala, I'm going to give him an A-. So he had 6 goals and 5 assists. He was brilliant for Bayern in the short amount of time he received. He shined on the wing, he shined at cam, and also he shined as a defensive midfielder. He can do any role basically, pretty much except for defender at this point. So he's shown some incredible versatility, and I could not be happier with the German. Obviously, can't wait to see what he can do with an increased role in the future. Lastly, to round out our midfield will be Thomas Muller. He's going to be my only other A+, so 8 goals and 17 assists. Absolutely incredible performance so far. He's been virtually perfect and obviously remains the heart of this Bayern Munich team. He kind of just stands for Bayern Munich and he just wants to represent Mia Mia every single day. He's providing assists like no one else, and honestly, there's just really nothing to criticize here. He has been world class. I love Muller. I don't see how anyone couldn't. Moving on to our defenders, I'm going to give Alphonso Davies an A. He's been incredibly important on defense and offense, especially, which is evident whenever you watch the team play. I mean, Bayern are so demanding of the young Canadian, and he keeps on delivering. If he could just perfect his final ball, Davies would be unstoppable. I mean, obviously he's already good, but if he could get, perfect that, I mean, Davies would be absolutely unstoppable. I'm going to give Pavard a C+, another controversial one. He had 0 goals and 2 assists on the season so far. There might be mixed opinions here since Pavard had a terrible start, but honestly the Frenchman has turned around in the last few games, and for some reason, I don't want to give up on Pavard yet. He's obviously had up and downs throughout his time at Bayern. He's mostly a center back, so you could argue that as well. He's obviously not as fast as our other, fullbacks, but we should support him for another season, I think, before making a decision here. If he can be consistent, we should continue to use him, but so far, he's been inconsistent, but honestly, I think he can turn the season around and, maybe end up at a B at the end of the season. Next, we're going to go with Stanisic. So I'm going to give him a B. He had 1 assist so far this season. Unfortunately, we saw very little in the young defender, but what he showed was impressive. So we could have a real diamond in the rough here. Lucas Hernandez is probably, our next best defender, if not our best defender from the season. He was a rock solid right from the start from Hernandez. He showed great aggression, defensive awareness, physicality, and proved why he should be our number 1 center back. No debate there, in my opinion. He is our best center back. Next, we're going to go for Upamecano, who's I'm going to give a B-2. He had a goal and 4 assists. He was obviously great offensively, but was very inconsistent defending. He had brilliant games, and he had awful games. Some games he was bullying people. Some games he got bullied. He's obviously young. He needs some more time, but I think we still have a very good player in Upamecano, but definitely not kind of what we expected from him so far. Sewell, I'm going to give an A-. So he had an assist in the first half of the season. He's definitely fighting for a new contract and wants to prove himself. He clearly is proving himself, and obviously the way he's playing, Bayern are going to have a hard time affording to pay him. The way he's playing, he's going to want a lot of money that other teams out there are willing to pay for, especially on a free. I'm worried about losing Sewell. I really love Sewell. He's our great dribbler. It's about like a joke, but actually he is seriously a good dribbler, no matter how goofy he looks while he's doing it. And honestly, I really, really want to keep Sewell, and hopefully this deal can be done. Lastly, for our goaltender, I'm not going to go for Ulreich. He's only played 1 game. Manuel Neuer, I'm going to give him a B. He had 25 goals conceded in 25 games and 10 clean sheets. Not great numbers when you look at things. Obviously, he was better in the UCL than obviously in the Bundesliga, and he conceded a lot of goals. But honestly, he has played better than the numbers would indicate. Obviously, he's a sweeper keeper. I have no doubt in him. I think he's the guy to keep on going for years to come. He's been still rock solid on his day and is still excellent as of 35 years old. So couldn't be happier with Neuer. I mean, I guess I could be slightly happier. He had some mistakes against Frankfurt, but everyone's going to have mistakes. You really can't, argue too much with his performance so far. So just in summary, Bayern, had one hell of a Hinrunde and are once again favorites to win the Bundesliga title with an already healthy gap over Dortmund. The team is also a strong contender for the Champions League title, definitely top 3 in my mind. Apart from that one slip-up game against Borussia Mönchengladbach, there are no major concerns with this team's performance, and we should be very happy with our trajectory thus far. So overall, I'm going to give us an A. Honestly, we have some very, very standout players. Muller and Lewandowski are playing brilliantly. Davies Hernandez as well. There are just some very, very good reasons to be excited as a Bayern Munich fan right now. I'm certainly excited. I hope we bring home the Champions League title. I think it is a very, very real possibility. I think we have a special team here, and hopefully, we can all enjoy some great football in the second half of the season. So I want to hear what everybody thinks. Let me know what you would rate Bayern's first half of the season so far. I'm interested to see what everyone thinks. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like and a comment. And if you want to see more Bayern Munich content like this in the future, please subscribe to this channel. Hope to see you on the next one. Until then, Mia.